Well, I've been doing a little research. My CV first. My name is Brenda Lee Stewart. Nice to meet you, Brenda Stewart. Yes. Well, I've been doing a little research. Actually, my father, Matthew Stewart, told me about the company and told me that it's actually all St. Lucian owned and St. Lucian based, and I'm a proud St. Lucian, so I was attracted by that initially. And that you'll actually you'll create dolls that specify and kind of showcase St. Lucian events and festivals.
We need someone who has a background
right
in the field.
Yes.
Because it saves us a lot of time. The whole thing of going and train someone, get them from scratch, braid, sew that, this kind of things.
I haven't had any formal training in it, but I have been with my father since I was 10 years old.
Yeah, but with the nature of what we come on board, what we need a position for, I don't think there's really formal training. I don't think there's a school you could go to, that kind of thing.
To learn
yes, to learn it.
Yeah. What I was thinking about, like Jeune Creole, for example, or the La Marguerite La Rose festivals. Would you all be incorporating, let's say, okay, you know the feud that goes on with the La Marguerite La Rose festivals. Would you all actually showcase that? Would you all create a piece with the doll that showcases, hey, this is what goes on with the festival? Or is it just, okay, this is what La Marguerite dresses like, or this is a souvenir piece from 2010? I was thinking, kind of like, in terms of our own business, how much can we get the La Rose to outbuy the La Marguerite or the La
So you're looking to a competition now, you're looking to start a war.
How many percent? That's basically what the festival is about.
I guess, well, I don't know. We could try it. We'll look at it, we'll review, see how it goes, how it works out, and see how we can go with it.
I'm a little curious. What exactly is the position you were interviewing her for?
On production. She wanted to be one of the workers on the production line.
She was all over the place.
The interview has to be more structured than that.
Yes.
You don't
It's a lesson for the future for you, that you need to know what you want. What is it you want?
Exactly what skills this person needs to have. If it was on a design team, I got the impression she'd be perfect.
Yes.
Not somebody who'll just come up with ideas and be creative, probably.
But production, she didn't look like the right person.
Production, a different requirement.
Remember, when interviewing someone for a job, it is important to keep your focus on what your operational needs are. Don't get distracted by too many bells and whistles, because a wrong fit will cost you in the long run. Coming up next, serious employee misbehavior,
I was on a break in my job.
sub-stories, and sassiness for days.
For this mix-up, and how can we fix the problem
It's
now
our product, it's our responsibility.
Who is too soft-hearted and who gets stumped?
So whose name can I go away with? Who's your lawyer?
Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back. And we're back on The Big Start. Now let's see how Team G&E handle an unfortunate situation with a loyal supplier.
Hello, how are you? Okay. Welcome to The Big Start. Okay, who will start?
Yes, I will start.
Okay.
Well, the first thing we did, the aspects of today's presentation we're going to be briefing you on, the location and layout of our business. The business process we decided to go with was our sales order processing, our support services, going to give you an overview of our organizational structure and the human resources we thought we need, and then we're given a job description and employment contract for a food handler. Now the location and layout of our business. We decided to set it up in Otsa in Castries, and we're planning to use one of the factory shells the NDC have set up in that area. I guess that's what we're basically looking at. We have our flow from raw materials going through the various areas in our factory. We identified office space, raw material storage. Here is going to be the general processing area. Everything set up. From here, after the produce and everything is getting prepared, we have our storage, and then here getting loaded and then finished products out.
Your own operations, I didn't see put much emphasis on the question of the buying, because obviously buying is a critical part of the raw material. To me, you downplayed that role. And to me, that's a very critical role in the whole operation.
We know we're going to outsource most of it. Well, not really. We're going to have like contracts with the employers you know, and with the farmers.
Farmers, yeah. But I'm saying that is a critical aspect of the operation.
I'm representing Gabriel and Associates today. Your regular woman couldn't come. She had an issue, a personal issue. But anyway, I'm representing Gabriel and Associates today. Now, we have a slight issue with the supply of yams for this week. Because of the recent rains that we had in St. Lucia, they all got waterlogged, and especially the yams were waterlogged and were actually too saturated with water from the time they were dug up, and after that they rotted away. Most of them rotted away.
Are there any other people where you can get
Well,
from, even if you have to pay at a higher price still, but until we get your farmers back in full production, if we can use their source, we could pay a little extra. It might have to be a case where we look to the drier parts of St. Lucia, like in the north or other areas, to see if we can get people to start having contracts with them. Maybe we can get a supplier in an area like Beauséjour, which has less rainfall in these areas.
So you guys will have to get on the ball and actually start driving around Beauséjour area, northern parts of St. Lucia, to find out who is supplying Dashin and yams right now.
Well, St. Lucia, as you know, is not that big. We get most of our farmers by driving around to actual farms and talking to people.
Now, who can I talk to about drawing up a new contract with Gabriel and Associates and G&E? Because now the focus has shifted from our dairy store farmers to potentially, depending on what happens, potentially some people in the north. So how do we draw up some new contracts?
I guess we'll have to go to our legal department.
I'm sorry?
The lawyer. Our legal department, the lawyer, if we have to draw up a contract.
So whose name can I go away with? Who's your lawyer?
Whoever was responsible for buying should have been in touch with that particular producer, a lot more, so that at least they would have known of that problem and have, you look like you were lost, That when that information came to you all, it was like, okay, I did not see an immediate, how are we going to deal with the situation now? You start talking about, what you can do in the future, but what's about the situation that was faced, to me.
I think we said that we would look to buy, even if we have to absorb some costs, buy from the farmers. So that was the immediate alternative that we were looking at for this.
But one thing you certainly learn from the challenge, and as long as you're into business where you depend on farmers or ground provisions and that sort, you look at the perils of it. Rain, too much sun and stuff like that. So bear in mind going forward with the business that these are the perils of the business. Your raw material comes from a source affected by drought, source affected by too much rain, a source affected by insects. So all those things have to be taken into consideration. And what is the backup plan when those things fail?
Sometimes the serious infractions employees commit beg you to fire them. Will Team Healthbirds have the stomach to do it, or will they let an employee get away with murder?
We're going to go to the support services first, okay? Now that's our full staff complement, okay? We have 9 persons on staff, including us, the 4 members. One is not here with us today, and we're going to hire the rest, okay? Medical services, now that would be outsourced, and that person would be the one doing our tests that we are offering, okay? And that's one professional registered nurse or some of the relevant certifications. We have $2,400 per month, contract worker. Why? We did some research to find out how much someone offering those services would pay. And without mentioning any other particular firms, we found out that $20 per hour was something that a lot of nurses of that particular qualification would be charged or paid for that service. So when you multiply 3 hours per client, and we're looking at 40 clients in the first 3 months of our operation, we said that when you did the math, it came up to $2,400. Because we're small, you find the directors and the managers, although we have separate roles, we're coming together.
Yes, Ms. Dawson, we understand that your license has expired and you've been working with some of our clients for the past week. Is that true? Because the last time I checked, when we asked you and we looked at our records, it didn't look like that. What happened? Talk to me.
Yeah, you told us it would have been ready the following Friday. So we're kind of confused now because you're working from Sunday and it's Thursday now.
Yeah, well,